I downloaded my Facebook file this week, and what I found was shocking, although I guess not altogether unexpected. This right here is 112 pages of my search history, every term that I've ever put in the search bar on Facebook. This is 331 pages worth of all the likes and comments I've ever done. 135 pages worth of contact information, mostly phone numbers that I unintentionally uploaded to the platform. Sorry guys. 146 pages of comments, 152 pages of group activity. The list goes on, and I didn't even print out half of it. It's estimated that Facebook classifies roughly 52,000 traits about you. Can you believe that? And what's crazy is that you don't even have to be an active user on Facebook in order for them to gather this information. In fact, you don't need to have a Facebook account at all. Welcome to All Things Secured. My name's Josh, and as fun as it might be to paint Mark Zuckerberg and the whole Facebook platform as an evil villain, it doesn't actually help us in our quest for online privacy, does it? So what I'd like to do instead is to help us understand exactly what data Facebook is collecting on us, how they're collecting it, and most importantly, what power you have, if any, to limit that data and improve your privacy while still using the platform if you want to. It is possible, and if you watch to the end, I promise you'll be able to immediately take action by making some changes you didn't know that you could make. Data is the core of Facebook's business model. They want to know you so well that they can guess exactly what you want, when you want it, and then package up that information and sell it off to the highest bidder. That can be something as simple as a pair of shoes, or perhaps even a larger item like a car. But they could also be guessing which candidate you want to win an election, or how much debt you're currently holding. And as harmless as this may seem on the surface, such information can be used to easily influence people who already have a known bias. So if I, as an advertiser, already know that you support a certain political candidate, I can easily target and at least try to persuade you to feel or to act a certain way. This, at least in part, was the basis for that whole Cambridge Analytica scandal that was disclosed back in 2018. Facebook was slapped with a $5 billion fine by the Federal Trade Commission, and they paid £500,000 to the UK government, and they made changes to their privacy settings, but guess what? They're still collecting my data. But before we can discuss what you can do to stop, or limit, I should say, that collection, I think we need to first understand how they're collecting your data. There are four primary kinds of data that Facebook tracks about you. The first is what I'm going to call explicit data. This is obvious, but it still needs to be said. Facebook collects the data that we voluntarily give to them. When you upload a photo, tell them where you went to university, click like on a specific brand, this is detailed information that you're voluntarily giving to them. And please understand that posting some kind of legal disclaimer on your wall saying that you don't give them the right to use this data or whatever, it does nothing. The deal you made with Facebook when you signed up is very simple. They give you a social network, you give them your data, period. The second kind of data that Facebook tracks is your metadata. What do I mean by this? Remember that photo you uploaded to Facebook? Whether you realize it or not, that photo is embedded with what's known as EXIF data, which is just a bunch of information about the picture file, including what kind of camera you used to take the picture with, the exact date and time the picture was taken, and even the exact GPS coordinates where you were standing when you took the picture. When you use the Facebook app, they're tracking your IP address, what kind of phone you use, and again, your location. So even if you don't explicitly tell Facebook your current city, which I haven't, I have specifically omitted that information from my profile, my Facebook file still shows my location accurately. It's in a folder labeled location, and they've correctly identified my primary location, and they've logged which cell service provider I use with my phone. The third type of data Facebook collects is what they're now calling off-Facebook activity. Let me explain it this way. I have a website, allthingssecured.com, and a Facebook page for that brand. Now, what Facebook allows me to do is to install what's known as a Facebook pixel onto my website that will track you as a Facebook user across the internet. I can use that information to retarget you with ads anywhere else, or to simply track how well my Facebook ads are performing. Now, I don't do this, just to be clear, but the Facebook pixel is estimated to be used on more than 8 million websites worldwide. And yes, you've most likely visited at least one of them today. But the pixel isn't the only way that Facebook tracks you over the internet. Anytime you see a Facebook share button, one of the Facebook like buttons, or even a sign in with Facebook button on a website, they've got you. And don't forget WhatsApp and Instagram because it's all integrated and connected. Finally, the last kind of data that Facebook collects on you, at least that we're going to cover here, is third-party data. This comes in a number of different forms. One example would be the data that advertisers upload. This right here is 81 pages worth of companies that have uploaded my data to Facebook. This includes stores that I've shopped at, companies whose software I've purchased, dealerships where I've looked at cars, and a whole host of companies that I don't even know where they got my information from. Facebook gleans and infers all kinds of things based on this data, and it also gathers intelligence from other areas, including everything from automotive industry groups to credit monitoring services. Okay, so that's the bad news. Now let's talk about what you and I can do about it. As I've been doing research on all of this for this video, I've come across so many different ways that you can not only limit what Facebook collects on you, but also restrict what they can do with it. I can't cover every single one of them in this video, but I'm going to give you 6 things that you can do today that will have the biggest impact on your overall privacy, at least in relation to Facebook. First, and you may not want to hear this, but I highly recommend you delete the Facebook app on your phone and tablet. I still access Facebook on my phone using my Firefox browser, but this limits a lot of that metadata I was telling you that Facebook collects. If you absolutely must use the app, make sure to lock down your privacy settings and click Ask App Not to Track when Apple asks you. Following along with this, the second thing I recommend is to use an internet browser like Brave or Firefox to browse the internet. Personally, I've added the Facebook container extension to my Firefox browser that basically fences in or contains what Facebook can see. Anytime I visit a site that has a Facebook pixel, a Facebook share button, like button, whatever, Facebook won't be able to track that I've been there unless, of course, I actually press one of those like or share buttons. But that doesn't help at all with all the data that Facebook has already collected on me, which leads me to my third point. I recommend that you jump onto your Facebook account and manage your off-Facebook activity. You can find this under Settings, Your Facebook Information, and then navigate to Off-Facebook Activity. Here you have the option to turn off future activity and clear the history of what has already been tracked. A couple things here. It's important to note that doing this doesn't actually stop Facebook from tracking the data. It just breaks the connection between what you do on Facebook and everything that you do on the rest of the internet. So if you're shopping for a new camera on another website, you won't suddenly be inundated with ads for cameras on your newsfeed. Second, if you want a more step-by-step process for how this and this next thing I'm going to tell you about in your Facebook privacy settings goes, I want you to watch this video because I've gone step-by-step through the whole process and I've included a link to that video in the description. Okay, the fourth step that I recommend you take is to make your public profile just a bit more private. There's no reason that a stranger should be able to find your public profile and be able to see who your friends are, which city you live in, what university you went into, who your mother is and what her maiden name is, what your family looks like with all your photos. Facebook gives you the ability to hide this information or to at least be selective about who can see it, but it's up to you to actually make those changes in your settings. It only takes a few minutes to go through their privacy checkup. And then I also took the extra step of limiting the audience for my past posts to make sure they weren't public for the world to see. The fifth step you can take is to be a little more careful about how you upload your photos. We're talking about Facebook right now, but the same thing can be said for a lot of different platforms. Remember that EXIF data that I was talking to you about earlier? Unfortunately, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those, they don't give you an option to upload your files without this data. So it's up to you to strip the EXIF data yourself. Well, how do you do that? I'm sure there's probably some sort of app I'm not aware of, but for me, the easiest and most simplest way, at least on an Apple iPhone, is to go in and access the photo via my Photos app and then click down here on the Share button. And now when I click up here on the options, I can toggle whether to include the location data or not. The resulting photo can either be shared directly to the Facebook or Instagram app if I still have that on my phone, or you can save it to another album and then upload it from there. The final step is this. Be stingy about the information you voluntarily give to Facebook. I mean, I don't want to be a killjoy here. You can still use Facebook, but stop checking into places. Stop tagging your photos or interacting with quizzes and polls. It may seem like nothing, but over the course of years, it actually adds up to be something. Facebook already tracks a ton of information about us. We live in a world where it's virtually impossible to get around that kind of tracking, even if you were to delete your Facebook account altogether. So the best thing that you can do is to take steps to stop giving them all this information and then restrict what they can do with the information that we do give them. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you continue with the rest of the videos in this series, covering not just Facebook, but also Amazon, Google, and others. Privacy only comes to those who work for it.